The man stood in front of the target, ready to catch the bullet with his teeth. His wife immediately became nervous, because she had never seen this magic trick before. The general turned to look behind him, and the Kaiser signaled to fire.
Pull the trigger.
After the gun was fired, everyone was shocked. The man who was shot just shook his head, and then walked straight to the front of the stage. He spat out the cone he was holding in his mouth, and his performance captivated everyone present. However, the principle behind it was very simple, requiring only a small magnet. This allows the bullet to be easily extracted while pulling out the push rod. Yet such a simple performance once again skyrocketed Houdini's fame, and he was soon invited to perform at the royal court. Houdini began by saying he could fulfill their wishes. The audience was shocked. He first asked the royals to write their wishes on slips of paper, then placed the slips inside an egg. To convince more people, he had the princess randomly select one from inside. In the end, any wish could be fulfilled. However, when he opened the slip of paper, he realized he couldn't read Russian at all. This caused everyone to burst into laughter, and even Rasputin, who feared for his position, let down his guard, thinking Houdini was just a charlatan. Houdini then asked the queen to help him translate. The queen took just one glance, and said that this wish could never be fulfilled. The wish on the slip of paper was, for the Kremlin's bells to ring once more. The Tsar also said it was impossible, as the great bell had not been rung for hundreds of years. The rope had long since rotted away, and the ladder no longer existed. However, Houdini was unfazed upon hearing this. He walked to the window with a handkerchief, opened the window, and looked at the bell. Then he stuffed a silk scarf into the handkerchief, and pulled out a rope from beneath it. Witnessing this magical scene, everyone applauded, but this was not the trick he intended to perform. He invited the princess to come forward and pull the rope. Unexpectedly, the melodious sound of the bell crossed the river of time, and rang out once more in the Kremlin. The royal family stood up in shock. It was as if they heard the call of their ancestors, and they knelt down to pray. Even Rasputin, who was said to have boundless magical powers, couldn't detect any trickery. But as everyone knows, magic is an illusion, and the reason it was remembered for a lifetime is because the wishes had already been swapped. No matter what wish the royal family wrote, it was all spoken by Nai. The reason Houdini asked the queen to translate was merely to make the performance more authentic, and the key person who could think of this was his partner, Jim. He set up a sniper rifle in advance, and attached a silencer to the muzzle. As soon as he saw the princess pull the rope, he immediately pulled the trigger, and the bell would ring accordingly.
They will interpret their spirit.
And here,
with the explosion of fame, imitators from all walks of life emerged one after another. Names like Brownie Disney appeared endlessly, but Houdini never expected that. The real threat was not from his peers. As various escape acts emerged one after another, the audience's sense of novelty quickly faded, and it was instead replaced by a new form of entertainment. At the end of the 19th century, and with the advent of black and white films, a small man named Charlie Chaplin stole all his audience with his humorous performances, causing his partner to chuckle. Last again in your fire?